Welcome to this yoga video for seniors where I want to talk about being a grandma and what it takes physically to be a grandmother. If you're lucky enough to be able to visit your grandchildren, even if it's just once in a while, it's good to know these things and you can get in shape and be ready. Especially, sometimes your kids call you and they're like, hey, can you come and watch the kids for a week while we go on vacation? Or, could be just a weekend. It doesn't matter. Even a morning can tucker you out. So for those of you with grandchildren, let's just acknowledge that it's such a blessing to have grandchildren. Not everybody gets to have them. And so I'm always so grateful that I get to be with my grandkitties. But here's the thing. They do take a lot of energy. So that's why I'm taking my vitamins regularly. And they play with a lot of toys. I've got some toys here to demonstrate some of the things that we have to do as grannies. And I'm not eliminating grandfathers here. Grandpas have to do this too, but not nearly as much. I can tell you that my husband does about 2% of what I do when the kids are over here. So with that, I just want to start with a little breath work just to, calm and get prepared for the visit. Calm and prepare yourself for the visit. So just a couple of nice deep inhales and exhales. When we focus on the breath, our mind gets a rest. We have no worries when we're focused on the breath. We're just present. And being with grandchildren is being in the present. There's nothing like it. It will take you to your knees, literally and figuratively. So let's just set the intention to strengthen the body so that we can really do a good job when we're with our little ones. And then seal that intention with a bow to the heart. Then we're going to lower the hands, raise the head, and open the eyes. There are a couple of things that I have found that what we do as grandparents is we get up and down off the floor. So hopefully you can do this. If you can't, I'm going to show you how to practice getting up and down off the floor. The other one is folding forward and picking up toys off the floor. I'm going to show you how to do that gently and easily and to protect your back. And then the third thing is picking up the child, right? Like first we were holding the little babies, and that's very nice because they're nice and light. But then they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And we only get a few years to do this, to pick them up, but we want to do it safely for our backs. So I'm going to start by, I'm sitting cross-legged now, or actually in easy pose, one foot in front of the other. And I'm not in the best of shape, I'm just going to say, but here are some things that I do like to practice. So I like to bring my knees over to one side. Oftentimes I find this is how I get off the floor more easily when I'm on the floor with the kids. So this is just right here. It's just a nice thing to practice. And then, of course, the other side. Pushing up, down, up, down. Just sort of getting used to that movement. And then what I recommend is going from side to side. So it's kind of like windshield wipers, only you're actually lifting your feet off the floor and you're creating mobility in your body, in your legs, and in your hips here. Actually, this is pushing me forward. So the more I do this, the more I've come off my blanket. I started there. I'm going to move back onto the mat so I can show you how I get up with no hands. All right, so I'm here, and now I just lift myself up. And then I bring myself down and move over to the other side, and then lift myself up again. Okay, now, if you can't do that, then you're gonna come here with your hands, right? you're going to find a way to stand up. That's what you're going to do. So that's one mobility exercise. Another thing I think is really good to do is squats. So bending the knees. So when I do squats, I take the heels together and knees apart. Now you could use blocks for this. I have 2 blocks, and I come into the squat. I can hold on to the blocks. And then using the blocks, I can come into this forward, half of a forward fold. So just kind of up, backwards, down and up. This is really, really good for your thighs and is gonna help you when you go to pick up your grandkid like that, okay? Then you wanna work your way up to doing that squat with no hands. So like this. And this is just like, if you can do this at, I'm 68, so if I can do this, you can do this. Even in your 70s, you can learn to do this, as long as you're healthy. But it's so good for you to be able to have that mobility to be able to work with your grandkids. All right, so squats is a really good thing to do. And then I want to show you forward fold or Uttanasana because we tend to pick up a lot of toys. At least I'm finding that I'm doing that with my grandkids. So this is a little tower that I've made with the blocks, and you want to look at your feet and keep them hip distance apart. So the feet are parallel and the toes are straight forward and the heel is straight back. And ideally, you want to bend your knees here a little bit and then bring the hips back a little bit. You'll start to feel this in your hamstrings, and then you can pull the belly in and squeeze the shoulder blades on the back. Keep your gaze down so that your neck stays comfortable, okay? We don't want it like this, we don't want it like this. We want it just to be a natural extension of the spine. So this is forward fold. Now, if you're more flexible, you can take a block away. And I recommend in this pose doing some hip movement from side to side. This is really going to help to open up the backs of your legs. And the more open these hamstrings are, the better it is for your low back. And then if you don't need the blocks at all, you can touch the floor. I like to shake out my head just to release any tension that's in there. Then bend your knees a lot and bring your hands to your hips, come up halfway, squeeze the shoulder blades on the back and the elbows towards each other, draw the navel in, and then gently press down to your feet and rise to standing. So forward folds are really good for opening up these hamstrings and making it easier on your low back when you do forward fold to pick up a toy. I can't tell you how many toys I picked up just this morning. Lots of them. So these are not very heavy. I've picked up heavier toys, lighter toys, doesn't matter. The kids these days, they throw everything around and we have to pick up after them. So here's little Mickey, and here's one of these, I don't even know what you call these, but. So if you are not used to doing a lot of bending over, then bend your knees when you go to pick up your toys. So bend your knees a lot, grab your toys, and then lift them up like that. All right, this goes for moving furniture too, and picking up boxes and heavy things. Like anytime you do that, let's say this is a heavy box right here, all right, anytime you go to pick something up like that, you want to bend your knees and you want to put the weight in your legs so that your back doesn't take it. The back can only take so much load. So it looks like this, okay? So a straight spine is a healthy spine. You do have a lumbar curve here, You have your thoracic spine here and your cervical spine here. It's very natural curves, but what we don't want is this. We have a lot of this going on in society. Okay, so last thing is, and this is just going along with what I said with the toys and the blocks and the heavy boxes and anything else that you're gonna lift, but lifting up babies and kids can really be hard on the back. My back did kind of go out a little bit with my grandson because he grew very fast. He got very heavy and I forgot to bend my knees. So when you're going to pick up your baby child, baby grandchild, you want to, under the arms, usually pick them up under the arms, you want to bend those knees and lift from the core. Now the core, really, it benefits you to keep a strong core. So I'm just going to give you one exercise to make a strong core. I'm going to actually give you two. So one is plank pose. So this one you just hold, and this is good for your arms because it's kind of considered weight-bearing exercise, and that's good for your bones. But then, and that's good for your belly. So the longer you can hold that and hold in your core, the better. I don't personally love sit-ups, but you could do those. And then here's another version of that, just coming onto your forearms. And if in the beginning you need to drop the knees and come up and down and up and down, you could do that. So I hope that that has given you some food for thought as you're playing with your grandkids and picking up the toys. Thank you for joining me at Yoga for Seniors with Lisa. And I'm Lisa, and hope to see you again soon. Namaste.